using the art movement to make a difference. Welcome back to Get Connected. I'm your host, Con Jackson. An amazing artist who uses license plates, he goes by the name of Michael, is doing just that. He's helping out a great cause called Drive4COPD. He joins us with Dr. Byron right now. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Wow, Michael, this is pretty cool. How did you first get involved with this Drive4COPD?
So I got involved because I knew nothing about this, and I was this was brought to my attention, and I heard these staggering numbers, and there was one that really stuck out, and it was 24 million, and I found out 24 million people were affected by something that I'd never heard of. A lot of people that I knew had never heard of, and I wanted to put a face to this in my way and create a monumental piece to raise awareness for something this monumental.
Wow, a lot of us are just learning that over 24 million people are affected with COPD, but let's take a step back. What is it?
COPD stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Most people know it better as some combination of chronic bronchitis or emphysema, but what most people don't realize is its impact. A person dies of COPD every 4 minutes in this country. COPD is the only major disease increasing in mortality, and more people die of COPD every year than diabetes and breast cancer combined. Over 12 million people have been diagnosed, but another 12 million have the disease but have gone undiagnosed. That's where the 24M comes from, the 24 million that is the point behind Michael's remarkable work.
Doctor, that certainly is remarkable, but for those out there that have yet to be diagnosed, what symptoms might they be having that should lead them to go to see a doctor?
The most common symptoms with COPD are a persistent cough or a progressive shortness of breath, or a combination of the two. And one of the things we struggle with in this disease, and one of the reasons why so many people have gone undiagnosed, is because as opposed to, let's say, chest pain or intractable headaches or terrible diarrhea, which tend to push people to their healthcare provider requesting, if not demanding, a fix, for whatever combination of reasons, the symptoms we deal with far too often tend to be self-diagnosed and self-treated. So a chronic cough becomes a quote-unquote normal smoker's cough, or an allergic cough treated with over-the-counter medications. Progressive shortness of breath is too often viewed as getting old or out of shape or overweight, and too often self-treated by cutting back on activity levels. It's the reason why so many people, by the time they finally come to someone like me, have already lost half of their lung function. Obviously, the earlier we can get them involved, get them diagnosed, the better chance we can of helping them. And that's really part of the point behind Drive, behind Michael's remarkable monument. We can help most people with this disease, but we can only help if we can make a diagnosis. And the point of this is to drive people to the Drive4COPD website to take the simple 5-question screener, see if they're at risk, and then share that information with their healthcare providers.
Well, Michael, I'm excited to talk about the monument you made for this great drive, but let's also ask you, how did you first decide to play with license plates?
I got that idea years ago, 15 years ago. I was getting out of art school, and I knew I wanted to be an artist and create a medium, and I think it was a perfect fit for me. I love Americana and pop culture, and license plates from across the country. I mean, who doesn't play those games when you're a kid, spotting license plates? And so that's the medium I chose, and it caught fire, and it's really interesting. It's like serendipitous how perfect of a medium that license plates are for this project, and that's really exciting because, yeah.
Well, Michael, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but which state license plate is the easiest to work with, and which one is the most challenging?
It's funny, plates are made from different materials. I mean, they started off as being porcelain, and then they're steel, and recently they're pretty much all aluminum, but there's a lot of representative materials in there. In the piece, there's these great old steel license plates from the 30s and 40s, and some of them are really hard to get. I mean, 2,400 license plates. There's only so many parking lots I can rummage through with a screwdriver. I had to really start sourcing a lot of places. New York was the hardest state to get. Couldn't get them.
All right, Michael, I'm curious to get in the eyes of the artist. How did you first come up with the concept that we are now seeing?
I mean, it wasn't easy, but in terms of picking the icon, the Drive4COPD logo and icon is a pinwheel. And so it was a perfect thing to choose. I wanted to take that and make a really large representation of that, make it really sculptural, make it kinetic, and then wrap my medium on top of that. And what's cool is the bases are all in the shapes of states, 24 bases. Some of the states in New England and on the East Coast are all clustered together, so the whole piece comes together to form a contiguous map of the U.S. So it's really engaging and dynamic, and that's what we want to do, is have people come out, traverse the piece, walk through it, touch it, feel it, whether they're here in one of the cities or virtually through the website, see all the information and all the great images and videos on the site.
Remarkable yesterday as the people were wandering through, as they were picking out the license plates from their various states. It's really very, very powerful. And Michael has had the percentage of license plates mimics the percentage in the different states. So the states with more COPD have more license plates. Isn't that right, Mike?
That's right.
Well, it certainly is a great monument. Thank you both for your passion to make a difference in the area of COPD. And again, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having us.
We love recognizing people making a difference. Michael doing that with his great monument for COPD. But you may know someone out there that we'd love to highlight, so send it to us at con@contv.com. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for watching. Are you tired of negative news? We are.
And that's why we're creating a movement.
By keeping it real.
With what you need to know. It's more than what's happening.
It's bringing hope back to our lives.
So go to contv.com and join our movement.